Good morning. Calimera. I want to welcome our visitors this morning. If you're new to our community and would like to join our parish, please fill out one of the white cards that are in the pews in front of you. They get your name and address on them, and hand it to one of our greeters who I'll introduce at the end, and we'll be happy to connect you to our parish. We'd love to do that. Many announcements today. Today's sermon is more like an infomercial, I think, than a sermon. This is one of the busiest weeks of the year because we transition into Great Lent. First of all, what a great day our community had yesterday. We had a standing room only crowd at the cemetery for the Divine Liturgy that we held out there. If you didn't go this year and you have relatives out at Garden of Memories, ask people who did. It was really a moving service yesterday. And then we had a wedding here with a standing room only crowd. They were mostly from out of town, so I didn't know most of them. But a couple of our people got married, and then last night, as I said, we had a wonderful Goya event. This morning after Divine Liturgy, our Sunday school students right now are having a pre-Lent retreat, which will conclude around 12:30 in here. So if you're a parent of a Sunday school student, please go have lunch next door and then come over here at 12:30, and we'll conclude our retreat with parents and kids in here at 12:30. And after church, the choir is having their annual choir brunch, so everyone is invited to come over and break bread with the choir that is sponsoring that event. There are multiple services held this week. You can read about them in the messenger or in the bulletin. We'll have the Forgiveness Vespers tonight. This service is the exact opposite of the resurrection service. We start out with the church in light colors, and then we move it into darkness as we announce the beginning of Great Lent. Tomorrow morning we'll have the Canon of St. Andrew, which is read during the first week of Lent. It's from 10 to 11 in the morning. It's a service of reading and reflection. Tomorrow evening we'll have the Sacrament of Holy Unction to begin Great Lent. If you want to come tomorrow, bring your black Holy Week book, because we'll be doing the service right out of there. This Wednesday and every Wednesday following during Lent, we have pre-sanctified liturgy at 6 o'clock. And after pre-sanctified liturgy, we have a dinner sponsored by one of our ministries. This week it's the choir. So if you would like to come, skip the hour of cooking and spend that hour worshiping and then enjoy a free Lenten dinner and discussion, we'll be doing that on Wednesdays beginning at 6. Friday we have the salutations of the Virgin Mary at 6:30. This Saturday is the last Saturday of the Souls, liturgy at 10. And next Sunday is the Sunday of Orthodoxy. If you have new icons that you purchased in the last year that have never been blessed, I encourage you to bring them and set them in the windows of the church, and I'll be happy to bless all of them at the conclusion of liturgy next Sunday. If you have new icons again, bring them to church. We'll bless them during the liturgy next Sunday. Finally, one non-liturgical announcement. In our pews, you'll notice that there is a large number of stewardship forms. Stewardship is how we make all these ministries possible. If you're not a steward of the church this year, if you haven't filled out one of these, I kindly ask that you do so today. It's not just about money. It's about how the talent and the time you're going to offer our church so that we can continue to offer these programs so that we can grow our community in the image and likeness of God, not only in numbers, but in the quantity of what we believe. So if you haven't filled out one of these, I know there's a lot of you who haven't. Please fill it out this morning so we can enter the Great Lent, all of us, on the same page here, stewardship-wise. Now, last Sunday I made reference in the bulletin to the Lenten covenant, and somebody who is in business said to me, "Father, you know that you have to say something 7 times before people remember anything of what you said." So when I think I'm being redundant, some of the business people say you're not redundant enough because I don't know what you're saying. So in the bulletin today, there is a Lenten covenant. Everybody who has a bulletin, open up the bulletin and take out the Lenten covenant. And I'm going to offer a challenge to our community. I don't care how many of the Lenten covenants end up in the box that's up here. If you'd like to fill it out and put it in the box up here, please put it in a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'm not going to open them. I'm going to read the names of who's on there and pray for them during Lent, and then I'm going to send it back to you so you can remember, so you can see how you did. If If you choose to leave your Lenten covenant here, please make a copy for yourselves. Somebody called me last year and said, Father, I did the Lenten covenant and I don't remember what I wrote down. I said, well, I don't know what you wrote down either because I don't open them. That's between you and God. But if you want to leave them here under the panagia, do that, but make a copy for yourselves. But that aside, again, it doesn't matter how many of those end up underneath the panagia in the box there. What I challenge you to do is I challenge everyone in the community to fill this out as a covenant between you and God. Keep it under your pillow or under your mattress or in your Bible, someplace where you're going to see it. And if you don't want to fill out the whole thing, fill out anything on the Lenten covenant. Fill out something on the Lenten covenant that you want to do over the next 40 days. And most importantly, find something on the Lenten covenant you can do when the 40 days is over. So that we're not going crazy during Lent as a season of deprivation, like, oh, I gave up chocolate. And halfway through Lent, I'm going to be like, oh, I want the chocolate back. And when Holy Saturday comes, you say, oh, I thank God this is over so I can have the chocolate back. Instead of saying, thank God we are at Christ's resurrection. All right, so this period becomes a period of deprivation, and Easter Sunday is the day of regression instead of resurrection. All right, if you want to pass the time in a worthwhile manner, don't become a super Christian. Add one thing to your Christian life. I say this with all sincerity. Add a small thing to your Christian life and maintain that throughout Lent and maintain that when Lent is over. You'll find that over a period of years, small incremental changes will add up to a lot. Large efforts of deprivation and regression will add up to nothing. Small increments and maintain it. And the Lenten covenant is designed to help you do that. Now, here is a suggestion. When you fill out your Lenten covenant, find a friend or someone else who's filling out the covenant and share with them some of the things that are on your covenant. Why? So that you can be accountable to someone else, and also so that someone else will encourage you. If I say to someone, on my Lenten covenant, I've decided to fast from foul language, then that person can say, Father, how are we doing this week? Clean mouth? And I can say, yes, very clean, thank you for asking. Or I can say, not clean, please pray for me to straighten it up. All right? If you have, some people call this an account-a-buddy, with whom you can be accountable to maintain and do the things that are on your Lenten covenant. You know the two great commandments are, right? Love God and love your neighbor. You know that is in the cross, right? The vertical bar of the cross reminds us that we have a relationship with God, love God. And the horizontal bar reminds us to love our neighbor. So and the whole message of Christianity is all about love. So when you're making your cross, here's another challenge. Do your cross 10 times when you get up. Not like a banjo. But do it slowly and say, love God, love neighbor. I will love God. I will love my neighbor. I will love God today, and I will love my neighbor. Before you go into a meeting, do your cross and say, during the meeting, I will love God, and I will love my coworkers. When you have to have a difficult conversation with someone, I will love God, and I will try to show love to the person I have a difficult conversation with. When you're talking to one of your account-a-buddies who's having a hard time, you say, I love God and help God my neighbor. All right? We don't just have the cross, because it's some funny ritual we do. It reminds us constantly, love God and love my neighbor. When you sit down and have a meal, I thank God that I have the food. Please feed my neighbor who doesn't have food. You can reduce the message of the gospel to love God and love neighbor. Do your cross 100 times a day. And every time you say it, say, I will love God and I will love my neighbor. The epistles talk about that we are one body of Christ, and we are many parts. One body, many parts. And the epistles even say, what's more important, the hand or the foot, or the elbow, or the big toe? It doesn't say that. That's my paraphrase. All the parts of the body are important. All the parts are needed. What kind of life would you have without a hand, or without a foot, or without a kneecap, or without a brain? We need all the parts. And not every part is going to be a brain, or a heart, or a hand. But all the parts are needed to work. But here's the thing. Let's say you take a little child, and he has a 5-year-old hand, and a 5-year-old foot, and a 5-year-old head, and a 5-year-old, all the other body parts. And let's say that child grows, every part of that child, except the right hand. How is that child going to make it as an adult with a child-sized right hand? What if he has one leg that grows the adult size and one leg that stays the 5-year-old size? He's not going to be able to stand up. All right, so we are the body of the church. I'm the priest, someone else is the parish council, someone else is the choir, so someone is the hand, someone's the foot, someone's the head, someone's the heart. We need all these parts to make the community go. But if not all the parts are growing, we're going to end up with one leg that's longer than the other, or one hand that's smaller than the other. So the season of Lent is not just about your individual growth, it's about our growth as a community. It's about our growth as a community. So make this time not just a time of your personal strengthening, but a time that strengthens our community. And the way you do that is if the whole community fills out one of these things, we experience that together. And if you share that with another member of the community, not the whole community, you don't have to sit and read this in front of everybody, but if you share this with another member of the community, then you and that member are going to grow closer in your faith and closer to one another, and that is only going to strengthen our community. So, with that being said, there are lots of other things to read about in the messenger. There's a retreat we're having in a couple weeks about realizing our purpose. That's on Saturday, March 11th. I try to offer these things a couple times a year, and sometimes we have 20 people, and sometimes we have 50 people, and sometimes we have 100 people. But if you're trying to figure out what's my purpose in life, and you don't have time to commit to the weekly Bible study, come to the one-day retreat and say, I'm going to spend one day retreating and recharging what I'm doing and what I'm believing. That's on March 11th. Again, you'll get the messenger this week if you didn't get it yet. It's filled with things to have a meaningful passing of the Great Lent